All right, so this is actually part two now since the hit the wrong button on the camera. So now we're still set up. We got the valve lapping compound. We have our Q-tips. We're going to apply a generous amount to the rings and then our lapping tool as well. I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. Other one. I'll go ahead and throw some gloves on. We'll get the bar lapped up and then we'll go ahead and get this lapped in. All right, now that we have the lapping bar in, we put lapping compound on the front of the bar, slide the bar through, put it on the rear of the bar, and then we add our handle, which is going to screw right down in the center here. And you'll also want to tighten down your scope rings. Now with everything tight, as you do this, the screws will, because you're taking metal away, you're going to create space, so you'll just keep tightening down. We don't want to take away too much metal because then they won't hold tight to the scope. So just start with a back and forth. As you can hear, the sandy grit. And then you'll want to work it back and forth. And from my background of working in motors and rebuilding motors, you'll actually know roughly by the sound, when it goes from a gritty sandpaper sound to kind of a smooth sound, you kind of got her all lapped in. So now that we have it lapped, we can go ahead and disassemble, and then we can go check and make sure everything still is in alignment, and then we can add the scope. All right, we'll get it all cleaned up off camera, but the one thing you want to keep in mind when you're cleaning it up is that you get all the compound off of the rings. Every crook and nanny, every crevice. I did not have denatured alcohol at the house, so I had isopropyl alcohol, which is sufficient enough to use to clean up the valve lapping compound. So now, and you'll also want to make sure that you remember your orientation, as far as, you know, which scope ring was the front, which scope ring was the rear, and remember our markings that we made at the beginning of the video, so this way we know how they go on. So now all we're doing here is putting the top rings on, so we can put our alignment tool back in and check to make sure we are where we need to be. And again, if we're not, repeat the procedures until it is aligned perfectly. And then once this is all aligned and put back together, we can mount the scope, check for level, and do a final torque. Tool in. We can torque that one down. Then we can move on to the second one. All right, now after the second alignment tool is installed, nothing changed because it was already pretty well spot on in the first alignment setup. So now that we have that all set up, we can go ahead and remove the alignment tool, take the top rings off, put the scope on, get the scope torque down, and check for level. As long as everything's level, we can do a final torque, and then we are all good to go. So now that we have the rings off, we can go ahead and place the scope in, get it nice and centered where we had it with the same orientation. We can add our top rings. Remembering to tighten these down alternately. And pause it to do the other one. Now that we have the scope installed, we can grab our level and check for level. And we have to remember that the vise did move a little bit, so we can go ahead and roll that down just a hair. And then we can see that we are level. So once everything is level, we can do a final torque down on all the screws, and then we can send it back out downrange to get it sighted in and sent back out to the customer.